I go by the name of Host Eric. I'm the king of this place. But even being the king of this place doesn't mean I'm always in control of everything. No. Because even kings have to deal with unruly subjects occasionally. And even kings have to leave their domain occasionally. So yesterday, Rachel and I, we left our domain of talking with host people. And where did we go? We went to town. There you go, Bob. Here's some more food for you. Here's some more food for Capito. And then you go to the store and get more cat food. Well, naturally, what's the first thing that begins to happen when I start to live stream? I feel a big poo coming on. Why? Email anthrax. Acacia, Winston's mom. How absolutely lovely to see you. I have been having to deal with regular mail anthrax for such a long time. Because email anthrax has been gone for a while. I guess he must have been imprisoned for his acts of digital bioterrorism. Digital bioterrorism is a funny concept. That's why email anthrax named himself that. Because digital bioterrorism is a funny concept. Oh yes, Mr. Man. What a good eater you are. Why aren't you eating right now? Because we're not watching? Now I'm watching. Yes. I'm watching and I'm appreciating. I'm recognizing the glory and the greatness with which you eat. I'm not trying to deny that any longer. Oh, this poop is really hurrying to the forefront of my butt right now. It's eager to engage in battle on the front lines. On the front lines of my butthole. So what is this about strangers being aggro, Eric? You might be asking yourself. And I'm going to tell you, just as soon as this coffee's been heating up and I put creamer in it, I'm going to tell you the story of this weirdo in town yesterday yelling at me. So, we got tired of sitting around and watching TV in the house yesterday. And we decided to go for a little drive. We drove up to Mid Pines and learned that there's not really anything there except houses and one general store type thing like the Triangle Market. We went back into town, went to the pizza place to eat pizza, watch a little football there. And as I was leaving the pizza place, I had a cigarette in my mouth. It wasn't lit. It was just, it was dangling from my lips as I was walking back to the car. And some aggro stranger yelled out the window at me, "Why did you stop smoking that fucking shit?" I didn't even know what to say. I didn't say anything. I was confused. It's like, is this guy talking to me? And it obviously was. It's like, as I looked back at at him in his car as I was walking back to my car. He'd like stop at the stop line waiting for me to like flick him off or something so he could come back and like start a fight or something like that. He had to be 25 years old at the oldest. But he represents a phenomenon that I've encountered periodically my whole life, which is there are some people, I guess they're dumb people, who just, they can tell I'm an intuitive and comfortable and confident, and they just hate me immediately. It's the strangest thing. Generally, I've noticed it doesn't happen to other people without a reason. Like, you know, a lot of people don't seem to be just walking down the street, minding their own business, and somebody in a car yells something Agro at them. But it was a little distressing in that it sounded so much like a spite monkey from around talking with famous people. It's one of the things spite monkeys like to hammer on, is that I smoke, as though that were going to be a good attack. You know, like I said, I think it's just a function of being dumb. They're too dumb to even understand why they're doing what they're doing, you know? They're too dumb to recognize their insecurity for what it is. And too dishonest with themselves, probably. Or not really capable of being honest with themselves because they don't use language well. Because, you know, honesty is predicated on using language well. You can't be honest if you don't use words right. You may not be explicitly dishonest, but you can't really be honest, you know. If you have confidence, people are intimidated, and when they get intimidated, they want a challenge so they can feel in control for one. And once they test, they get to get a better sense of who you are. Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, it all happened like just out of nowhere. I was just walking, you know. Yeah, we did walk along the creek in Mariposa. I do think it's a confidence thing, but I think it's also an intuitive thing. So it's like I was wearing this t-shirt yesterday. So I'm a spider, so what? Which is one of my favorite shows. But you know, in no way, shape, or form am I someone to roll up on. You know? You're fucking with the wrong guy, or you're fucking with me. I may look like a wimpy intuitive or something, but that's just physically. I'm not worried about somebody physically beating me up, right? That's just a ticket to jail for them. Yesterday I didn't respond or escalate or anything because it was just so completely out of nowhere. It took me so by surprise, and I was in such a non-aggro mood. It just didn't. I didn't kick into male dominance mode or whatever. The funny thing is, I didn't even have a cigarette lit. If I had been even remotely prepared for some sort of conflict or something like that, I would have said something like, I'm not smoking. Since I wasn't actually smoking. So, that hasn't happened in a while, but it happened yesterday. Like I said, at first it was a little disturbing because I was like, I wonder if this is some guy from the channel, because I hear that particular, like, low intelligence kind of critique from spite monkeys around here. But I realized I was driving home. There are a number of those kind of people in the world. Not a ton, but a certain number. I imagine this guy might. Oh, well, I didn't get bent out of whack. I just thought it was interesting. At first, a little troubling because I was thinking, I wonder if this is somebody from the channel, who said that kind of shit before and has tracked me down somehow. But I don't realize. It's just when people aren't very bright and my confidence offends their insecurity, to quote Coach Prime. They lash out in the most easily visible ways possible. Like, they can see a cigarette in my mouth, so that's where they attack. It's just a symptom of low intelligence, Would I recognize the dude again? Probably not. I just got a quick look at him. But like I said, this has happened to me my whole life, where people sometimes just right out the gate just hate me. It wouldn't shock me. Also, I was affected a little bit at the time. Not a whole lot, but made me think, I mean, it's pretty hard to encounter something like that and not be impacted at least a little bit, Yesterday, I think the best case scenario was I just ignored it, which I did, But that's not how I always deal with things. Although I'm a lot more at peace now that I'm up here than I used to be when I was in LA. As usual, I dream a lot about old places. I don't know if that's a function thing. If I've posited before, just speculated. Really, it's not really even a position. It's more a speculation that people's dreams, how they dream, has a lot to do with their fourth slot function. I'm always dreaming about old places that I used to be at. Last night I dreamed about Temple City a lot. And it's often happened. Sometimes there's like annoying problems in my dreams that I can't solve. Like, where's my car? Or how am I going to get back over there now that my car is broken? Things like that. Or, well, I can't leave here until I finish fixing this window. And then I can't fix the window. I have dreams like that a lot, you know? Dreams about my inability to accomplish things. So maybe that's 4 and 8 there combined for my dreams. I fail to accomplish things in old places. Oh, chips and salsa. You go back over here. Oh, Acacia, I was always getting into big arguments when I was in LA. I was always out for blood because it's like with everybody else, you know? It's like, what are you going to do when the world's giving you unnecessary pushback all the time? Hi, Jeremiah Fix. That is the correct response, Boba Fett, to missing my poops. Oh no, I missed it. You can rewind. It's okay. Well, if your dreams are about places you've never been to, then yeah, it's not the same. I know. It's like football, Boba Fett. You gotta watch it live. It's no good to watch it if you already know what the outcome is. Yeah, when I was in LA, I was just like, it seemed like everything was fighting against me all the time, and I had to constantly be doing battle. Like, I was always doing battle with CVS, with doctors, with whomever, you know? It's like I went into every interaction assuming I was going to get needless pushback from these fucks, and I was going to drill into their head that I was not one to be fucked with, you know? And that was fine for Los Angeles. You know, I learned to be a warrior over the years. Being a debate coach, you know, being a debate coach is about going to war all the time. When I was actively coaching, I would tell my kids all the time, this is war. You are going in there to slaughter people. And you know, the fact is, whether it sounds immodest or not, I am not one to be fucked with. In the real world, you know, people, right, emailed anthrax, exactly right. It can turn unhealthy. It didn't turn unhealthy fast for me, but by the end of my time in LA, it was unhealthy. I was enjoying making people squirm. And that's not healthy, you know? Nobody should want to have power relationships in which you're making the other person feel uncomfortable because you're using your strength more effectively than they're using their weakness, you know? You shouldn't enjoy that or want it. Good morning, New Groove. And by the end of LA, I was starting to enjoy it. I was looking forward to it. Oh, I'm looking forward to going down and making that pharmacist's life miserable this morning. That's not healthy. But you know, it's like, I don't blame myself because it is true that the world was giving me so much unnecessary pushback all the time that I just had to go to war all the time. It's like I had to go to war with Mercy Medical Center to get Rachel out of their clutches, right? Because they had her in their clutches for 10 years, failing to treat her mental illness while using her as a cash cow. It's fucking insanely offensive. Horrible, you know? I had to go to war with Rachel's family. But amazingly, I actually won that war. They all think I'm the bee's knees now. And, her mom and dad both thanked me for everything and stuff like that. That was kind of crazy. I had never expected to be on good terms with their family. After all the shit went down. But sensors are so practical. They don't care about all the residual meanings if so long as their daughter lives in a nice house and is being supported by a man, then they're fine. It's like, okay, well, that's fine. As a child, you could walk on the ceiling, butterfly up the wall. You know what I had the ability to do as a child that I actually recaptured not that long ago, just maybe a couple weeks ago. It happened again. It hadn't happened for years, but when I was a kid, I'd close my eyes, but I'd still be able to see my room, all the details of it with my eyes closed when I went to bed. And I'd note that. I'd like look around and be like, wow, it's amazing. I can see with my eyes closed when I'm in bed. How about that hippie party being hit by terrorists in Israel? I've been steadfastly not paying attention to the Israel stuff right now. I don't want to know about it because it's going to make me mad. Actually, oddly, I don't, or not that I have stuck with me. On all of my piloting, any vehicle dreams are disastrous. Well, Acacia, SE Polar should not be piloting things. Let's just admit that right now. Piloting is not for SE Polar. I'm not even sure SE Polar should be allowed to drive. Acacia's had a long drive recently, though. She made it there and back in one piece. She had to drive all the way to Arizona. Why? Because she's that into Arizona iced tea. And she wanted to go to the Arizona iced tea factory, which she did. And she got a whole gross of half and half Arnold Palmers from them. That's a gross, I believe, is a dozen, or is it 36 dozen? You had to go to the real thing, right? If you're gonna get your Arizona iced tea fresh, you got to go straight to the factory, which naturally is in Arizona, I'm assuming. Otherwise, why would they call themselves Arizona? It's hard to blame the Palestinians, though, for wanting to attack Israel. I mean, they win the argument. The Palestinians win the argument, you know? You also went to the old Lisa Frank factory, huh? Oh my God, what is Lisa Frank making that factory? Oh, Arizona's in New York. I know. Look, the Palestinians, I cannot blame them for wanting to do war against Israel. But they also need to have a little bit of pragmatics to them and recognize that they are not equipped to make war against Israel, and Israel will crush them like bugs under feet. And that's just how it is, you know. You gotta sometimes you be like, all right, well, I'm not gonna try to fight this guy because he's too big and badass, and I'm too wimpy. And that's just, you know, you gotta fight him with words at that point. So, unfortunately, you're not gonna win much public support or sympathy by attacking civilians because the Palestinians are so much more poorly equipped to wage war than the Israelis. The only way they can is by killing innocent civilians, and then they're going to lose any justifiable support. And also, it's like, okay, at this point, Palestinians, it's time to get over it. It's been a long time now. So just well, I mean, I agree with you, Boba Fett. If the Palestinians want to have any sympathy from other people in the world, they need to attack Israeli army things, not regular people. By email, Anthrax. But that requires you to have like the ability to successfully aim your missiles where you want them to go and to know where your targets are and other sort of military capabilities that terrorists don't usually have. So, don't get me wrong, I'm not expressing any sort of support for violence by the Palestinians in Israel. I'm just saying they're right to be mad. They're right to consider themselves to have been unjustly uh, conquered by unjustified aggression by the West. No other way to put it. At the same time, something should have been done differently, but that doesn't mean we should do something now. And they're not going to ever get that. They're going to say, like, well, that's just justice selectively applied. But be that as it may, sometimes you have to roll with what's pragmatic, get the outcomes you can get, not the ones you want. Know what I'm saying, dogs? have to get my glasses. You know, you might be right about that B vitamin thing, because I've been taking a lot of B vitamins lately. Like, in fact, I'll take a couple of them right now. I've been trying to see if, in fact, it will cure my and I've had more dreams lately than I usually do as well. The B vitamins seem to maybe do a number of good things. I'm not sure. It's hard to say with vitamins. It's probably placebo effect, but yeah, I've been popping like 10 of these things a day, like 2 at a time every couple hours. And I'm pretty sure it's working on the neuropathy, but I'm hesitant to say anything definitive yet because I still have it some. It seems to be improving steadily. I'm trying to prove this concept on myself first, that this works, before getting Rachel to engage in the behavior. Is that Rachel? Yeah, that's Rachel. But you can't see her because she's dressed super sexy. Or either that or like her underwear just went. You miss frogs? I don't know if we have frogs around here or not. I used to think I heard frogs, but I started to think that actually they were crickets. There are frogs in LA, you know. I remember going up above JPL back there where the golf course is, the disc golf course, you know. Oak Grove, that's what it's called. I was forgetting the name for a second. Anyway, there's a little stream up there. There were a lot of little frogs in it. I was surprised. I haven't seen any frogs up here, but it wouldn't surprise me if there are frogs up here. Yeah, France is full of frogs. But anyway, I find this B12 thing quite promising. And also, even if it is just placebo effect, there's something about me that likes popping pills. You know, like, I'll take a couple of these things, take a couple of those things. B12s might not do anything, but they do kind of satisfy the urge to take something, you know. Purportedly, they help in the conversion of like calories into energy or something like that. And I find it plausible that I'm experiencing those kind of effects. But again, it's really hard to say with things like vitamins. Placebo effect is quite powerful, and even intense rationalists like me are subject to them. What's a B12? It's just a. It says it aids in the conversion of food into energy. But what we know for sure is that um, not just B12. I don't. That's all I know what it's called is B12. And maybe it has another name, but I don't know what that other name is. Okay, new group. Thanks. We will we will resume the stream. And Acacia, you just made me realize, or Boba Fett made me realize, or new group. I'm sorry, new group made me realize that well, I eat plenty of beef. I don't know if I eat grass-fed beef liver, but but even if these B12s, even if these B12s have low bioavailability, if they have some bioavailability, then good for me. AKA CIA. In other words, let's be honest, Acacia's a CIA agent, and she's here investigating me. Well, the thing is, New Groove and everybody else, the reason I'm taking B12 is because I got neuropathy specifically from a severe vitamin B deficiency that was caused by huffing too much nitrous. How and why exactly nitrous causes a vitamin B deficiency, I'm not sure. Yeah, Noog's outed her. Well, I'm glad that the CIA is here keeping tabs on me because they can know it continue to speak that I am a just and righteous American. Um, anyhow, uh, so I know specifically that this neuropathy was caused by a vitamin B deficiency, and I also Delilah told me she read an article about um, somebody who got neuropathy so bad from huffing nitrous they were in a wheelchair, and they cured them with an intense regimen of B vitamins. After Delilah told me she read that article, I decided to try it. Granted, I'm not getting injections like you would from a doctor, but oh yeah, we have so much nitrous. Right around the time my dad died, we just went nuts huffing nitrous. But once we determined that it caused neuropathy, we quit doing nitrous, obviously. No, Acacia was not typed by me. I don't think so. Tyler Perry. Talking about farts makes me think of Tropic Thunder, which makes me think of Tyler Perry. Oh, Tyler Perry. Why do you exist? Just to be an example of things that make me mad. Are we you? Are you me? Were you? Are we? What? What are you saying? I have no idea what you're saying. What you're saying? Oh. Oh, you're okay. Just asking New Groove if New Groove was typed by me. Uh-oh. Anti-polar wife, huh? That sounds troublesome. I've had one of those. If you try to argue with her, you just go around and around in a circle. They just shift ground continually. They have no concept of what it means to, like, actually resolve a point. The answer to that question is maybe. Sometimes. Only when I'm on my period. So, the weather report indicated that, quote unquote, temps drop. What do you think about that? I'll tell you what I think. I think I'm about ready to get Rachel writing the vitamin B revolution. If for no other reason than I think it has other good effects besides just the neuropathy. Again, could totally be placebo effect though. Maybe I should wait a little longer. But like it's really hard for me to tell as well because part of the way I'm feeling now, which is better, more interested in life, more interested in doing things, etc., might just be distance away from doing amphetamines. Might just be what happens when I don't take any Klonopin, but those things are kind of like regular things. Like I'll take Klonopin every couple of days. Sometimes take one every day for certain stretches, and I won't take it for a while longer than that. She shuts down if TI is holding her words accountable. Well, of course she does. That's using her 4th slot function to punch her in her 7th slot function. She's not going to like that very much. Would you like to see the light or the cat? Those are your 2 choices. All right, Trouble, we'll watch you eat. And we will be impressed, amazed. We'll try to emulate you when we eat because you set such a good example. And we'll acknowledge your overall superiority in the field of eating. We'll grant you awards for achievement of excellence in eating-related endeavors. We'll pet you as you eat so that you know we're here without looking. We'll brush off some of your extra hairs that are always coming off of you. How is it that you're always shedding? Don't you have some time of the year when you grow in a winter coat and stop shedding? That's just mommy sneezing, I think. I think mommy might have moved to bread. from upstairs. Yeah, who knows why? Maybe she spilled a drink on herself in bed. That would be very mommy-esque. Oh, I spilled this whole iced tea on my head. When I go upstairs to Rachel's room sometimes to get into bed with her or whatever. You little fly. I hate you so much. There's no good explanation for where these things are coming from. There's no trash in the house that they could be coming from. We've taken all trash out. There's no like rotting fruit or anything. I think they just come in every time we open the door. I will pet you. Okay. Yes, you are amazing. Your eating prowess, your chewing, your swallowing, the whole 9 yards. It's magnificent. Trouble is a very good kitty. Yes, he is a very good kitty. No, they don't eat Friskies. They like to eat Iams. It's like the only cat food they like. So, or Capillo anyway. Trouble's not that picky. Trouble will eat whatever. But oh, identical love. Identical Love is the amazing show about two identical twins seeking love. What a horrible concept. Oh, those shows like The Bachelor and stuff. Those things. Like, do anybody but ESFJs watch those shows? I think it's just ESFJs that watch them. I mean, Rachel occasionally watches. She watched one called like Island of Love. It was pretty good, actually. I watched a little bit of that too. But by and large, those things are just terrible. It's not conjoined twins. That would be a terrible, terrible concept. It's identical twins. Like when my computer goes to sleep, the TV goes to sleep and it turns onto this thing called like Smartcast or whatever that shows you all these shows you can just get from the TV, I guess. I don't know. Old movies, shows, different things that you don't even have to go onto your computer to watch. You can just watch them via the TV's software interface. Because, like, the TV, every time you turn it on, it connects to the internet automatically. And it's like, it's kind of like the screen that you see like in a hotel, on a hotel TV, but without the hotel stuff. Okay. Here's a concept I can go for. Conjoined twins seeking love with identical twins. So it's a bunch of sets of identical twins all competing for the love of these two conjoined twins. Of course, the conjoined twins have a lot going on. They've got a mansion and They drive a Rolls Royce. I wonder if the identical twin show is the identical. It only shows one pair of identical twins in the picture. But it would be more interesting if the identical twins were looking for love with other identical twins. So you had a bunch of identical twin girls trying to get the love of the identical twin guys in the picture. The whole show would be full of, which twin are you? Because they'd make them all have the same haircut and clothes. Wait, are you Trina or Trina? Trina and Trina are two um, identical twins who hail from Atlanta. And they're really into archery and horseback riding. They do everything together. They have ever since they were little girls. There's a kind of interesting identical twin anime on Crunchyroll right now. I I haven't. It's not in my wheelhouse of anime. Um, but I watched most of the first episode. I'll probably continue watching it. It's called, what's it called? Stardust Telepath. Wow, this new season of Crunchyroll just keeps producing. There's another new show came out today, the first episode. Yeah, well, that's what Trina and Trina are into. Anyway, the new show about identical twins is called Miggy and Midgy or something like that. It's got to be. Oh, it's called Midgy and Dally. That's what it's called. Midgy and Dally. It comes out today, in fact. Um, it's about this older couple that adopt one child, but that one child sneaks his identical twin in a suitcase. My favorite dating show was My Big Fat Obnoxious Fiance. I related to the fiance. Good night, Acacia. You haven't gone to bed yet? Wow. It is definitely bedtime because it's sunrise soon. It's 6:13 in the morning. And well, she's in West Coast, so she's on my time zone. She stayed up all night. Why? Just waiting for me to live stream. Finally I did. Rachel's kind of like that too, Acacia. She seems to sleep a lot during the day and not that much at night. Yeah, well, that's what Microsoft tells me is sunrise soon at the bottom of my screen. Let's look together at what Microsoft said to show me. Okay. 10 powerful psychological tricks everyone should know. Are we witnessing the apocalypse? 10 alarming signs hinting at Christ's second coming. 10 unsolved mysteries that continue to puzzle us throughout human history. Why? Why do they have to add throughout human history to it? That's dumb. Extraordinary UFO sighting over small American city probed by police. That sounds interesting. That's the sort of thing I click on. But it's rarely new news. It's usually old news that they're trying to reposition as new news. Peter Thiel's multiverse, Tom Hanks, yeah. Discovery in Batcave changes what we know about U.S. state that's overrun by UFOs with more than 16,000. 5 psychological tricks to figure out who you really are. Spheres an unnatural wonder. Has the James Webb found signs of life? I want to see what this one is. Location of crashed Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 pinpointed. New search will be quick. Avionics expert says. I'll believe it when they find it. I gotta see this one. But it's 13 and 8, so that's not a good sign. That means it's probably just nonsense. It's time to start worrying about an eruption. Is it time to start worrying about an eruption? It can't be flagree. I don't know. Is it? 5 divorce prevention lessons I've learned as a couples therapist. These are always down. Look at that. 23 thumbs down. Not a good sign. Rare planet may be missing piece in the puzzle of how other worlds are formed. See, this has 58 thumbs up and just 6 thumbs down. That's much more promising. Astronomers studying a 245 planet from Earth believe they may have found a missing piece in a long-standing puzzle surrounding how other worlds are formed. Where's the warrant? Two different ways the planets lose their atmospheres, huh? Well, that's good to know. Keep that in mind next time I make a planet. Hi, Misfortune. Seeing grown men get excited over the coming of Christ always kind of weirded me out. Well, that's because you've never gotten Christ come on you before, man. My God. It smells like freshly baked cookies. And instead of you having to wipe it off, it wipes itself off. That's why it's so amazing. Well, I guess it's time to pull a couple more bong rips. Mighty Fortune Power Strangers. It's fortune time. So, I think, Man Like God's STP new group, if I'm not mistaken. The extroverted kind, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes I am mistaken. I've been known to be mistaken before. It's kind of like a soul orgasm, okay? When your soul orgasms, semen spurts out of all of your pores simultaneously. That's what happens when Jesus comes on you. Is it causes your soul to orgasm, and semen shoots out of all of your pores. Tiny little spouts of spurt. As he picked up his hammer and saw, new group, you failed to complete the same. I see, said the blind man as he picked up his hammer and saw. Misfortune? Is that how you feel this morning? Like a westward facing pink monster screaming? Well, I've got good news for you. You don't look like that. Should I take the trash out to the street now? I have one more trash can to go. We put it in the front. Rachel recommended that that we we take the bathroom trash out as well. So I did take the bathroom trash out, and I got one other partially filled trash bag I put in there. I could put the kitchen trash bag in this last trash can, maybe. No, it's I think, said Helen Keller to the dead baby. My eyes open once again, and I can't help but scream. Sometimes I feel like that when I wake up. Sometimes not so much. This morning, I feel pretty good. Although I do feel a little bit churny in the stomach because I've had some coffee, I've had some cigarettes, I've not had any kind of food or anything. I should probably like drink some juice or something. But I also feel kind of restless. Like I want to do things, but I don't know what I want to do. I want to fart, but I don't know why. I want to do so again, but I still don't know why. You still have eye crust? I don't think I have any eye crust this morning. But I will say I got a good night's sleep last night. I went to bed on the early side around 8 p.m. Got up around 5. That's a good 9 hours. It's 8 hours of solid sleep, plus going to the bathroom a couple times, you know. But I was surprised when I finally got up that it was 5 in the morning already. I would have thought it like 2 in the morning. That's a good sign that you slept well. Put all of my energy into streaming. Make this the best stream ever. But with that, every single stream, I set a new record for best stream ever. Because every stream gets better than the last. That's not accurate. Some of my streams are good and some of them are boring. Some of them are interesting, some of them are funny, some of them are just kind of blah. This is an okay stream. If you want to have full blown Eric, then probably I'm streaming on amphetamines, right? Which episode had my best chakras? Walking without regular animals. That's an alternate name for this channel. Stream level ENFP. I'm not gonna do that. People do not like it when you make fun of their type, or like rank them or something like that. They'd be like, "Fuck you! You think your type's better than mine?" I rank ENTP at the very bottom. It's the worst possible type to be. Your favorite ones are the ones where I attempt to do physical labor. I remember you, I think it was you who got a kick out of my struggles with that charcoal. Yeah. See, I got this trash out here I need to take up to the street. Speaking of labor. This isn't exactly labor, though. I don't even want to put this in the thing because it's got hardly any trash in it. So I could just put that back in the garage. That's got one bag of trash in it, so I should just take it up to the street, I guess. But it's like, I like the trash cans to be full before I take them up to the street. Not like just have one trash, Alright, I guess I'll just take this. Let me just sweep up the rest of these cigarette butts right here. And I'll just take that up to the street real quick. One cigarette butt. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm doing. So, as you see, there are these cigarette butts here. So I'm sweeping them together. And then I sweep them onto this. I put them in there. Okay, good job, Eric. Now, it's time to take this trash, even though there's hardly anything in it. But I'm going to take it anyway. And I'm going to just give it a quick tie. Like that. And then I'll put it in there. Okay, now, the next thing we have to do is this. I'm not even going to bring the lid up there. I'm just going to take this trash can to the street. You can't go very far with me, but because the Wi-Fi will run out of Wi-Fi. You can go right there. You can see the morning sky. I did. Okay, now it's time to put this can back where it goes. And I need to get a new trash bag for it as well. Okay, so this trash can is the grossest of all trash cans because it's the one that the kitty litter goes into. So let's go get a new bag for that. Now, the bags are in here. Ridiculously, I believe we are still using trash bags that I brought from my dad's house. How many trash bags my dad has? Pretty handy to have all those things, you know. Megadeth. You know, I think death is kind of like pregnant. You can't really have mega and mini death. Just one size. Death only comes in one size. Cause death only comes in one size. I should go see Megadeth. I don't want to go see Megadeth. But boy, weren't we lucky to go see Johnny when we did. Now he canceled his whole tour because he's getting throat surgery. What? Okay, well, New Groove, you make a very valid point there. And I stand corrected. I was too hasty in dismissing that name as making sense without acknowledging that it could have been the breadth or scope of death rather than the size of an individual death. And I hereby stand corrected, sir. I've already watched you eat. I just came in here to get my coffee. Oh, it's because I left it outside. That's why I can't find it. I'm sorry. Well, you know, at least I didn't cling to my wrongness like most people do. Most people love to cling to their wrongness as though it were a precious stuffed animal. Nuclear murderer. If anybody's going to kill me in any nuclear way, I want them to kill me with nuclear fission, not fusion. That'll make it more challenging for them. Or, if they prefer, they could kill me in a nuclear way. So I made a pretty cool robot yesterday. And I'm pleased to see that Tiffany's robot engagement shorts are doing quite well. Just one. Yesterday, one stranger got aggro with me out in the world. He yelled at me from his car window as he was slowly driving by. Why don't you quit smoking that fucking stuff? And I had a cigarette hanging from my lips like this, but it wasn't even lit. It was just, it was just in my mouth. And it was so out of nowhere. We were walking from the pizza place back to our car. So I was just like, huh? Is that guy talking to me? And as we kept talking, as we kept walking, and I was talking to Rachel, I was like, what the fuck was that? Um, I looked back over my shoulder and he was like paused at the stop sign, like looking back, wanting to see if I wanted to fight or something. I just kind of like shook my head and continued walking to the car, you know. I was not in any kind of aggro mood myself. If it had been back when I was in Los Angeles, I was always ready to do battle. Not to do physical battle, but, you know. Mm-hmm. He's like 25, kind of muscly looking dude in a little car. Yeah, well, he definitely made a cameo. The thing was, it's the sort of thing I hear around here, like from Spite Monkeys. Um, the thing is, it wasn't even lit. It was in my mouth. I was walking to the car. I hadn't even lit it yet. I tend to wait till I get away from people with cigarettes, you know. Yeah, he was anticipating me smoking, right? So I don't know. He was just an aggro guy. He was a white guy. That's what I think too, because I had on my Selling the Spider sweatshirt. I didn't have a jacket on at the time. Blow him a kiss would have been a great response, Ruben. That would have been a great response. What I should have said, though, what I thought, what I should have said later was, I should have just said, "I'm not smoking, dumbass." You know, it's like, at least check to see if your target is actually smoking before you yell at him. But I didn't say that. I just walked away and shook my head. Yeah, well, no, that would have been a good one too. Well, your girlfriend sure smoked a lot of me last night. Except I was with my wife. Or in general, another good response would have been, you know, why don't you stop smoking so much pole? It's a little homophobic, but you know. I should have said, I'm funny. I can't hit you. That would have been the best response. That would have been the ideal response if I had just said, I'm funny. I can't hit you. Unfortunately, I had a cigarette in my lips at the time, so it would have been like, I'm funny. I can't hit you. That would have been the best response. I could have just stolen a Steve Martin joke and said, my doctor said I need more tar in my diet. Just be yourself, man. Anybody would hate that. If you're looking for advice on like how to score a chick or whatever, who wouldn't hate that advice? Just be yourself, man. Okay, you being your dumbass self may get you plenty of chicks, but me being my smart self does not. So just get over your be yourself shit. Look, all I do is just be myself. It's like, I want to bang that chick, and I just go up to her. I'm like, hey, girl. And, before I know it, I'm just banging her. I'm just being myself. Yeah, well, that's not in my repertoire. Thank you very much. Yeah, just be yourself, Boba Fett, and then you'll finally understand one day. Did you guys see my awesome robot? Well, Ruben, you had to apologize because that was a zinger. That was a real zinger. But I don't think you should apologize for a zinger. I think you should high five yourself like that. I don't think people refer to zingers as zingers so much anymore. Right? Like burns or disses or whatever. But a zinger is a nicer term because it's less. No apologies are also a thing. You mean sorry, not sorry? Anyway, I think zinger is a nicer word than burn or diss. It allows them to be a little more friendly. Yeah, or also pwned. You don't really hear pwned much anymore, but uh, that's another. That's the thing. You don't deserve a burn or a diss or anything like that, but you don't need to deserve a zinger. It just the zinger emerged from the ether. It can't be helped. It's another reason why zingers are better than burns, disses, or ponies. Well, non-interneted I mean, it's an everyone thing. It's available to all of us in the media history of the world now. It's nice that we get to have this sort of multi-generational connectivity across the media. My daughter knows all the songs that me and Rachel know. It's like we like the same music. Delilah finally listened to Johnny's record and was just amazed by it. So is Leet. Do you know that I'm Leet? What's the opposite of Leet? Regular? I'm L33T. Plebe. I'm Leet and you're plebe. Will you count us down to a simultaneous butt pinch? Okay, well, I'll count us down from 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, simultaneous butt pinch. I'll even participate in it. I don't have a lot of butt to pinch, but I can manage to find it. Another thing from that era is sexually identifying as an Apache attack helicopter. That was a thing for a while. Remember that? Somebody sexually identified as a Apache attack helicopter, and that made the meme rounds for a bit. I sexually identify as a Coast Guard tugboat because I like to tug. That was a 2016 Trump, yeah? Was it? I don't think so. Maybe. This gamer lingo was all created with Counter-Strike. Really? Well, you know, all your bases now belong to to me. That's from a different game. I don't think that was the context of it, was it? Maybe. I don't remember any of that context, but I guess I didn't explore the subject very deeply. I gotta tell you, the the highest like ratio, I think. No. We're pinching with our fingers. Um, the highest like ratio I think I've ever gotten on a short. It has over 100 likes and like under 4,000 views. That's a very high ratio of likes for a short. Was my pot roast joke, where I said, pot roast is a lot like making love. After 12 hours, the meat becomes very tender. That got over 100 likes. Well, the Albanian hat definitely won the dislike contest. That got so many dislikes. It's incredible. I was very disappointed when they changed the rules so they no longer show how many dislikes something has. It's like, come on. What are you doing? Yeah, the glorious nation of Albania did take great offense of me making fun of that guy's hat. But in my defense, I did not know it was some sort of special cultural hat when I made fun of it. I just thought it was a poor choice in in hat wear, you know. I also made fun of some people's hats at the Kentucky Derby, but shockingly, Kentuckians didn't rise up in outrage at my videos. Things got a lot more expensive the last few years is true of everything. It's horrible, but it's reality. Thanks, COVID policies. Thanks a lot for not listening to Eric, world. If we listened to Eric, we wouldn't all be groaning under this massive inflation adjustment that happened about a year ago or so, maybe a little more. All right, I need to grind more marijuana with the marijuana grinder. It sounds like Rachel's up. Not if she's gonna stay up, but it does sound like she's up right now. Sounds like she's coming downstairs again. Good morning, my precious darling.
Good morning. I was gonna make myself something to eat and then go try and get some more sleep.
Sure. Why don't you take a couple of these B vitamins?
Okay.
I find they're, I don't know if it's placebo effect or not, but but the thing is, when you go to the store get more of these, I take like 2 of them like 5 times a day, and it definitely seems to be making a difference.
That's good. I noticed a little bit of a difference.
So we should keep taking these.
Okay.
We should both take them vigorously because purportedly they give you more energy from your food you intake. So.
Oh, that's good. All right, so then definitely we'll keep up with it. Meow meow.
Hello, the Oompa Loompa. Do you Loompity doo?
Meow.
That's what I hear. I've heard that before anyway. From the Oompa Loompa Advisory Committee. Vitamin B helps nerves and sleep and digestion. Well, I dreamt a lot last night, and I've noticed I've been dreaming a little bit more. Which his mom said it might have something to do with the B vitamins too. It's as I mentioned before in the stream already. It's very difficult for me to tell because I've got so many different things going on concurrently. Like I'm not on amphetamines. I didn't take any Klonopin last night, but the night before I took Klonopin, and I still felt pretty energized yesterday. It's very hard to tell for me whether it's just a consequence of what you might call natural phenomena, like where I'm in my cycle and stuff, or whether it's related to the B vitamins. But the one thing that I have is a nice measuring stick is this neuropathy. I'm taking the B vitamins specifically and explicitly to try to make my neuropathy go away. If I can cure my own neuropathy with B vitamins, then I'll feel confident that Rachel can eventually get hers cured as well. It does seem to be getting better, but again, very hard to tell because the neuropathy is something that gets worse and better random times all the time anyway. I'll believe it when it's gone, you know. Catnip tea before bed gave you crazy dreams. Yeah, why this hat? Flying Marku. Well, it turns out because it's some sort of Albanian wonder hat. That's why. And you make fun of it at your peril. It's too important to make fun of. It's a very important hat. Meow. You want me to watch you eat or what? You want me to watch you eat or what? Hi, Mr. Man. You just want to rub against me? Yes, Daddy knows. And Daddy loves. Oh, yes. Would you like to go outside? Maybe. Okay, we have to make up your mind. Make up your mind. Do you want to stay in or go out? In it is. In it is. By not choosing, he chose in. As he usually does. I wish he'd go outside more often and bother me less. Instead, he likes to just meow at me all the time. Alright, we got a cup of coffee here. And we're going to add a little creamer to the mix. 1 scoop, 2 scoop, 3 scoop, 4, 5 scoop. That's enough. Okay, good. Now, in order to avoid queasy stomach syndrome, we're going to need to consume something.
But what, Eric? Whatever shall you consume?
One of these donuts, which fits right on top of my coffee cup like that. Get a paper towel. That'll be useful for holding the donut without getting my fingers all sticky. And we're going to go over here. I did. I pwned it. You don't need to worry. I don't engage in a level of anything less than ponage. Okay. Catnip tea, huh? Well, that's an interesting notion. Hmm. There. Now we can call this Sleeping Kitty live stream. Sleeping Kitty live stream is a live stream dedicated to being soothing. It just shows you a sleeping kitty, and then I sing soothing melodies behind it, which I'll begin in a second. La la la, feeling soothed, yeah, so soothing, just like Susan, who's been bruising for some soothing for a while now. You're so soothed. Do you think that live stream would do well? The Sleeping Kitty live stream? Be known as the most soothing live stream on YouTube. The single most soothing one. Even more soothing than lo-fi beats for steady and really? Now I'm very curious about this catnip tea. You bought a giant bag of loose organic catnip and make a tea with it every night. Huh. I did not know that. I did not know that you could eat catnip or drink it or whatever. Maybe I should get some catnip. I'll give it a shot. It's in the same family of plant as marijuana. So it might have those kind of effects. Well, you may be able to make a tea out of just about anything, but you don't want to make a tea out of just about anything. Ideally, you'd make a tea out of tea, but there are some other things that are okay to make teas out of. I haven't taken mushrooms in a long time. All vitamins are chewable. Tea is very toxic to animals. Well, I won't give my animals any tea then. Thanks, Rachel. You're so sweet to me. Nepeta cataria, huh? Because cats like it. Kudzu leaves and flowers? Sounds very Japanese. The La Trattoria. Yeah, when you first came downstairs this morning, I don't know if your underwear, if you were wearing a thong or if your underwear had just thonged up your butt crack. But you were sexifying the hallway down here when I was outside. I looked through the window and saw you. I said, no, you guys can't look at Rachel right now. Because she's just a couple of swaying ass cheeks right now. Her buns are hugged by nothing but the air. That was a bodysuit? Those weren't really your butt cheeks? It was just a flesh-covered bodysuit? Flesh-covered bodysuit? You're like that lady we saw yesterday, remember? Rachel and I saw a lady across the street. It was clearly, as Rachel pointed out, and when she pointed it out, I started watching and noticing it too, that there was, one of the people was a real estate agent, and the other lady was some wife of some rich guy who was wanting to open a boutique on that location here in Mariposa. It's a very boutique-y place. The town itself, anyway, is a very boutique-y place. It's not like it's necessarily a county full of wealthy people. It's not that. That's not Mariposa. But it's an odd mix of blue collar people, like people who have ranches and stuff, and then people like us who live in where they're basically vacation homes, but we live here year round. So like when we went to Mid Pines yesterday, it's not necessarily the nicest neighborhood in Mariposa. It's not like a ghetto or anything, but it's definitely lower income than say Mariposa Pines where we live. And we saw this. In fact, I want to make a short from it for sure. We saw this really awesome, spooky, old, abandoned motel just past Mid Pines. It's like we were there in the middle of the day, but let me tell you, that place would be spooky beyond belief at night. You would not want to go to that place at night because just you'd be worried that some transient might be there or just because ghosts or whatever. It's just scary. We've got a couple of really spooky spots near us. There's one right on at the end of Triangle Road across the highway. The only thing that makes it Even slightly not mind-blowingly spooky as it's right next to the highway, but this old abandoned building that's across the street, it just looks like spooky heaven. Brick Wall Boutique is a unique California boutique located in historic downtown Mariposa, only 27 miles away from Yosemite National Park. Yeah, we tried to go to Chocolate Sea. We almost. Oh, I see. It was your butt cheeks. Okay, I was gonna say those were really realistic bodysuit if it wasn't. But anyway, that lady yesterday, she was dressed in a color of dress that was the same color as her skin, so she just kind of from a distance looked naked, you know. But after she talked to the real estate agent, she walked up the street and got in this big, like, new SUV, and I'm sure drove away to tell Bradley the good news about her dumbass boutique that she's gonna open. There could be no boutique dumber than Okie Dokie in Mariposa. You want to talk about NI Polar? That is an ESFJ executing an NI vision that is just utterly pointless. That store has nothing in it. Okie Dokie has like literally like 7 different products in the whole store, and they're just like overpriced random things like artichoke jam or some shit like that. You know, it's it, that store cannot possibly, even conceivably, make any money. It has to be a loss because they just don't even hardly sell anything in there. It's just meant to look adorable. It's her adorable little boutique, Okie dokie. It's about artichokes, sort of. But we went in there and bought a coffee, and it was an iced coffee in a can, and it didn't even have any cream in it. So, I'm sorry, Okie dokie, but you are falling short of my expectations. Tax write off? Yeah, I guess it's a tax write off. Um, what am I missing? I'm missing my cigarettes somehow? I must have left them all in the garage. This is the textbook Eric move here. You need to keep one pack of cigarettes in all of the different places where you smoke cigarettes rather than let them all sort of like gather together like unstirred spaghetti in your pockets or on this table where I have, count them, 4 packs of cigarettes. No, Eric. You need to have at least 1 pack of cigarettes over here. Of course, I keep opening new packs of cigarettes because I can't find my cigarettes. Well, I'll just open another pack. That's why I have 4 open packs of cigarettes. Well, you know, here's the deal that cognitive functions teaches us. You can't be smart at everything in life. To be smart at some things, you have to be dumb at other things. This is one of the things that I'm dumb at. I mean, Rachel, if you're still awake and listening, can you even think of like what that store sold? Okie dokie. Like what was in there for sale even? Just like jam and I remember there being jam. That's the only thing I remember other than there being coffee in there. Were there artichoke themed things even for sale in there? Or was it just like what the hell is going on with this little store? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's adorable. And no peeling paint anywhere. It's branded like they hired some brand design logo maker to make their brand or something. It's got a cute little name. The tiny little star. But you know what? It's no smaller than the rock store. And the rock store's got shit tons of stuff going on. There were shirts that said okie dokie on them, but I can't remember anything else. Shirts that said okie dokie on them. It's supposed to be an artichoke store, but there are no artichokes for sale in that store. There were shirts on a hill. Well, I think my point is very well taken. The rock store has just as little space as Okie Dokie, and yet they sell shit tons of different rocks. And they do a brisk business, you know. It's like on a weekend when tourists are in town, that place is selling rocks like they're going out of fashion. The thing is, the rock store is a collective. It's like a bunch of different people come in and they say, "Here, I want to sell some rocks." It's like the Mineralogical Society here in Mariposa. They have this rock store that they open occasionally, and it's the members selling some of their rocks. And you get good deals in there, really good deals on rocks. Rachel and I have been to a lot of rock stores. And you might say, are rocks really worth buying, Eric? Probably not. But, you know, you get some cool rocks. They're pretty cool. And Rachel likes the magical qualities of rocks, too. Like, this stone promotes, you know, wellness or some shit like that. She likes that stuff. So if she likes it, then I like it, too. Hello, Renee Ackert. How are you this morning? I'm fine, thank you for asking. And my cat is sleeping soundly. This one is. Of course, the other cat's just being over there guarding the entrance to the kitchen for some reason. To make sure Capio doesn't go in there and eat or something. 6mm Dunlop Tortex. Never heard of that. There were shirts on a hill, but I never heard them shirting. No, I never shirted them at all till there was you. I didn't even know that one. Hi, Lou. Are you picky about pics? I don't really use pics myself. I think you're probably talking to Ruben. But when I do use a pic, I just want it to not be too thick and not be too thin. I don't really even have pics, so I have like one or two somewhere. I never use them. My fingers never learned how to hold the pick properly, even really. What's that you say? It's time to pull more bowls? I'm not going to disagree with you. I can tell you, Lou, I frequently hear Rachel listening to you and your videos. I hear your voice around here probably every time you upload something, I would guess. I don't, of course, I'm too self absorbed to watch your videos, but Rachel's an observing type. One of the reasons why I don't watch your videos, Lou, is that they aren't isekai anime in Japanese with subtitles. Yesterday, I started an isekai in which a man is reincarnated as a pig. It was pretty good. Pretty good. Was not as good as reincarnated as a vending machine, which I saw last season. But this season is chock full of fantastic stuff. I'm so excited by this season. And it's super isekai heavy. Although I will say, one of my favorites of the new season is a genre of anime that I do not watch, have not watched before anyway. It's a car racing anime. It's called MF Ghost. It's fantastic. At least the first 2 episodes have been fantastic. So fantastic that when I was watching it, the first half of it, I knew Rachel had this video conference coming up at noon, so I was like, and I just stopped it like 2 minutes before noon and was like, okay, fine, I'll put on the video conference now. But and then when the video conference was over, I resumed watching it, and Rachel was watching the second half of it with me, and she was engrossed by it as well, I think. Very exciting. I can't wait till next week's episode. So, Trevor likes to pretend as though there are different territories in the house and he's in charge of certain things. Like right now, he's guarding the entrance to the kitchen. Why? Or I can assure you, it's not because anybody untoward is going to try to enter the kitchen. And if anybody were to do so, he wouldn't stop them anyway, unless they were a mouse or a lizard or another cat. Now, he is very much prickly about that black and white cat. Does not want to see that black and white cat around here, which I'm glad about that. Because I don't want to see that black and white cat around here either. We have 2 cats. We are not absorbing another cat, no matter what. Rachel and I are going to be resolute in not absorbing any more cats into our family. Now, Trouble, we couldn't avoid him. He just conquered us. Our army was too weak. So we did a good job, I think, of being pragmatic and recognizing when we're just defeated and just becoming a vassal state of troubles. No point in fighting it once the ENFJ cat has love bombed you as much as Trouble's love bombed us, then there's no stopping it. You're his bitch forever. But we're not going to let any other cats do that to us. And I'm quite confident Trouble will not let any other cats do that to us because he doesn't even want to let the cat we already had be here. If it was up to him, he'd make Apio go away. The only time they hang out and have fun together is when they're collaboratively torturing some poor little animal. Well, that's a good way to get hidden from this channel, G class. Because I don't want to deal with people saying shit like that. Somebody asking for money. Because they were asking for money. Which is not what this live stream is for. You'll note that I don't ask you for money. So, I feel sad today. I want to take alcohol. What do you think? I think that alcohol will not help you to not feel sad. Oh, where is the eclipse? I would say, Misty Joy, that you'll just be more sad tomorrow. If you drink today, just deal with your sadness. I've never myself I didn't drink to deal with sadness. I drank to deal with life just being too slow. Bro, sis bro. I mean, I would suggest when I feel sad, what I do is go to bed. But I'm SI fourth. So that's natural for me to do that. You forgot you're a mod. Well, now you remember. Well, I tell you, sometimes it feels like the world's going to shit. I think it's important to remember that we all see a lot more of the world than we used to. You know, we're all exposed to a lot more people in the world than we used to be exposed to. We're all exposed to anonymous speech shit tons more than we ever were prior to the internet. and it's true that we see, I think in America anyway, we see an underclass emerging of people who weren't financially able to handle the inflationary adjustment. I mean, this underclass was emerging even prior to that, I suppose. But I think it's, you know, we're seeing the cracks in society more and more. But it's only somewhat because there are more cracks in society. It's somewhat because we used to, prior to the internet, be isolated in our little communities. Much more than we are now. And the ugly parts of society were isolated in certain spots much more than they are now. So it's a multiplicity of factors, I guess. It is true that in some ways the world or America is falling apart in ways that it didn't used to be. And in other ways, we're just all hyper aware of all the negativities more than we used to be. Well, we have a real poverty problem in America. It's not being called a poverty problem. I don't know what to do about it. I echo the INFJ's sentiment, Misty Joy. Let me give you some good Effie instead of just my Erickiness. I'm sorry you're having a sad day. I hope it gets better and that you were kind to yourself. That's what I said. Lou just copied me. Everybody remember it that way, okay? But with that, I'm going to award you a wonder point for the notion of meta panties. I really like the idea of people having meta panties. And you earned yourself a wonder point. Is it Wednesday? No, it's not. It's Monday. So wonder points values are not doubled today. But it's still a wonder point, and you earned it. Because I now realize that I may be wearing bun huggers underneath these modesty pants, but metaphysically, I'm wearing meta panties. I try to keep them untwisted as much as possible. Try to keep them untwisted so they don't allow any sand to get into my vagina. Meta sand. I only get meta sand in my vagina. It's a real vagina, but I only get meta sand in it. And that's only when my meta panties are twisted, thereby allowing the meta sand to pass the barrier via osmosis. You know what, Rubenar? That is not true. It's not always Wednesday somewhere. Yeah, Sandy Skirtle, while a great name, is not a fun phenomenon. True enough. Meat panties. I mean, I like the idea. They're good for summertime. If you make your panties out of lunch meat, they'll keep your junk cool all day long. Once they start to warm up, you can just replace them with new lunch meat. Lou, you're getting a wonder point for meat panties. You get a wonder point for meat panties because if meta panties deserves a wonder point, then definitely meat panties deserves a wonder point too. It wouldn't shock me if I start wearing meat panties now. Except I wouldn't call them panties because I'm too manly. I'd call them meat boxers. Or meat speedo. Mito. Mito brand swimming suits made out of meat. We use only the finest pork products to make your meat panties. Japanese people are weirdly obsessed with meat panties. I mean, just panties in general, actually. What are you meowing about? What do you want, my meowing time surprise? Meow. Meow. So, not sure exactly how long I've been live streaming for, but let me see. 2 hours. I will probably wrap this up here and watch some cartoons. And then meow. What are you meowing so mournfully about? And then maybe I'll live stream again later. And or I'll wait for Rachel to get up and maybe we'll go do something. I wouldn't mind getting out into the outside a little bit. But we kind of need to get those face fly hats that Les has. Maybe I'll go get a couple of those today. Anyhow, thanks for being here, everybody. I'm gonna wrap this up. I do have some cartoons to watch. I may go into town. I may smoke some meat panties. I quit smoking meat panties about 12 years ago, but occasionally I start smoking them again. So until I'm done smoking meat panties, I will see you later. Love you all. Thank you for being here. And don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.